This is John with Love to Hunt. Today we're going to do a little project here with my Uberti 357 Magnum. This is a Cattlemen Hombre, and I ordered from Uberti a new load gate spring because mine I thought had broken. Well, here's the new spring from Uberti. Stoger and Benelli's the one that actually, I guess, sends you the parts and so forth. But when I disassembled all this, I took the trigger guard and the handle and of course the cylinder out first, made sure it was unloaded, and the trigger itself and the trigger spring you can get down here underneath, and this little screw right here underneath that is the spring. Well, this screw had backed out, so what it was doing when I go out to shoot or whatever is the load gate, as soon as I put it up vertical to shoot, horizontal to shoot, it would fall open about like this, just flop open. So now I put it back at a good tension by making sure that spring was seated down in there, and adjusted this down level and flat. I put just a little bit of thread locker, semi-permanent thread locker. I mean the tiniest amount on that screw, and it seems like it's in a good, it's got good tension on it now. So we're going to try to reassemble, and first thing we'll do is put the trigger back in it here. And drop that screw out there. It seats right down here on this side. Can you see this? Come on up here. Right down in that hole. That's where the tail of the trigger, if you will, goes down in that hole. And then this, it's like a guide. It goes all the way across and sticks in a hole on the other side, and it's threaded on that end. It'll go in here. You just lift it up, find the hole in the trigger. Lift it up and you find the hole in the trigger, and it pushes right through into the hole on this side. See it up there where you got some threads, and see if I can get it threaded in here. Alright, that's just loosely snug, and I'm going to try and snug it up with this one here. I don't want it to back off. Alright, and then the trigger spring, it lays here, and the longest part goes down right here on top of this. The longest part actually overlays the head of the trigger right there, and then the screw goes in back here. Kind of a little bit tricky to get it in there because the hole ain't lined up exactly. Hold back on the trigger some, and see if I can get my fingers to start the screw for me. Oh, not quite. Come on. Alright, looks like I'm starting. Okay. I'll screw that down. Take the bigger screwdriver and get it in there. Alright, got that good and tight. And it's back in place. The load gate's still functioning. So we'll go on to the next step. Put the trigger guard back in place. Sets down over the trigger. And then this one here was my front screw. Don't tighten any of these down until you've got them all in place. Can you see that? I'm starting the first one here. Just going to bring it down a little bit. Okay. And then the back two. Okay. I lightly snubbed that one. I didn't go crazy with it. I just went down. Generally, the front one is the one you want to loosen first. Make sure there's no tension on it. These two down here. And then the one in the front. Screwdriver squared away. Good and squared, looks okay. Go here to the back. This I just loosened when I took it apart. I didn't take it completely out. And that spring actually goes up behind the trigger. Right there. You center it on there once you get it in place. Take the larger screwdriver and just tighten that down. Not quite centered where I want it. Let's bring it over a little bit. That's a little better. Good and tight. And the last step is the handle. Just be real careful with your screws. Those two there, I've got one on the bottom. I'll put him in last. It simply goes right down inside of there. Work it down in. Bring it up and forward. There we go, we're seated. Get these in here first. Tighten that one. Let's come with a second one. Alright, the last one here at the back. And on top. Let's go forward a bit. Let's see how it fits down in there. Get that aligned. Looks like it's right there. Just take your time with it. See if I can get that to start.